Brownsville and Laguna Vista are currently undergoing a lawsuit. Details straight ahead.
And a Republican presidential candidate visits the valley. We'll tell you more in minutes.
A rise in parking prices has students paying more out of pocket. We'll tell you more.
Good afternoon, Edinburgh. This weekend you're looking at 20% chance of rain. We'll let you know on what day you're going to need that umbrella.
UTRGV-TV News starts right now. Hello and thank you for joining us on this edition of UTRGV-TV. I am Orlando Vargas.
And I'm Oscar Castillo.
Well, at the top of our broadcast, multiple state and federal lawsuits between the city of Brownsville and the town of Laguna Vista are currently underway over a Texas law.
That's right. The law will in fact be a breach of contract between both cities. We spoke to local officials about the problem. The issue between both cities began on June 18 when Governor Greg Abbott signed the Bill 4059 into law, saying, "A municipality in a county that contains an international border and borders the Gulf of Mexico terminates 2 miles from the extraterritorial jurisdiction of a neighboring municipality." Brownsville City Attorney Mark Saucy claims that said law creates a breach of contract between both cities.
Brownsville gave extraterritorial jurisdiction that it owned to the city of Laguna Vista back in 2009 in exchange for a promise that those new boundaries would be respected. And what happened was they entered into the agreement, accepted the extraterritorial jurisdiction, and then tried to set it aside and get more ETJ.
City Manager Rolando Vela claims that the city of Brownsville has not kept up with its legal obligations of its ETJs, ultimately affecting the taxpayers.
Under state law, a municipality is supposed to provide services within a time frame. Essentially, you annex an area, that area becomes now part of your city limits. You are now legally obligated to provide police, fire, sewer, water, and all these other city services. All these areas that they've annexed, they have provided no services whatsoever. So people are paying taxes, Brownsville taxes, and getting no services whatsoever.
Officials say Brownsville provides municipal services within its city limits. However, it only provides emergency services within its ETJ. For UTRGV-TV News, I'm Oscar Castillo.
Well, on Tuesday, U.S. and Mexico officials met to celebrate the inauguration of the West Rail Bypass International Bridge in Brownsville. Now, the bridge marks a new international railroad crossing between the U.S. and Mexico in 105 years and connects the border cities of Brownsville and Matamoros.
What does this symbolize for Brownsville?
Well, progress, future, the sense of accomplishment, the sense of trust between two countries. I don't know that the significance of this data sharing that we're having right now will hit everybody in the middle of the night, but it means that two countries actually trust each other. They're going to rely on each other's information, and hopefully that trust will never be violated.
Well, according to the U.S. Department of Commerce, $1.5 billion worth of trade is crossed between the U.S.-Mexico border daily. Now, 80% of that trade is transported through roadways and railroads nationwide.
Presidential hopeful Jeb Bush visited the Rio Grande Valley on Monday and met with various local officials to talk about border security and the economy. He also went on to mention that Republican candidate Donald Trump's border security proposals were unrealistic.
So I'm not going to get into the issues of what he said and I said. The simple fact is that his proposal is unrealistic. It will cost hundreds of billions of dollars. It will violate people's civil liberties. It will create friction with our third largest trading partner that's not necessary. And I think he's wrong about this.
After the press conference, Bush spoke with members of the community and expressed his interest on visiting the UTRGV campus at some point in the future. Hey Orlando, I wonder how the weather's going to be for the first week of school.
Well, I hope that the weather brings cooler temperatures because we sure do need it. Now let's toss it on over to our weather center with Karina Segovia with your week's forecast.
Good afternoon, Edinburgh. This is what you can expect for this weekend. We're going to reach the high 90s, so stay hydrated. On Sunday, you can take out your umbrella because we do have 20% chance of rain. Next week, we are reaching also almost triple digits. So please, please stay hydrated and use a lot of sunscreen when you go out. Back to the desk.
Well, the UT system is funding a new study on sexual assault that will include UTRGV and 12 other universities around the state. Our reporter Steven Cavazos brings us the details.
Each year, college students can be seen roaming the campus grounds until the late evening hours. To ensure their safety, campus police patrol the surrounding areas, and emergency poles are placed along sidewalks in the event of an attack.
The number one thing that we do is provide officer presence in the community. We have vehicle patrol, we have bike patrol, foot patrol, different methods of making sure that we're out in the community.
Although the newly merged UTRGV strives to protect its students, the risk of being assaulted on campus is not uncommon.
Women, on average, have a 1 out of every 5 chance of being sexually assaulted while on a college campus, and men 1 out of every 16.
Despite the probability of being attacked on campus, only 20% of victims go to the police. The lack of information is what prompted the UT system to fund a $1.7 million multi-year study on sexual assault. UTRGV will be one of only 13 schools participating in the study called Cultivating Learning and Safe Environments, or CLASSIT, which aims to learn more about the issue. A sample size of students who represent the demographic of the area will answer online questions, while faculty and campus police will participate in surveys and group discussions. The study will allow for programs and policies to be customized to the unique environment and culture for each participating campus. But for now, UTRGV law enforcement wants to ensure students that resources are still available.
We do want you to receive some type of support from either on campus, off campus, from family members, friends, whatever you have around you.
Reporting for UTRGV News, I'm Steven Cavazos.
Moving away can be tough, but students here at home are getting a little help from familiar faces. Our reporter Beverly James tells us more.
With the help of resident assistants, moving on campus won't be a hassle for new students at UTRGV.
So as a resident assistant here, I am in charge of a second floor, meaning I'm in charge of about 64 residents. It's just making sure that they're safe, making sure that they know resources that are available for them, making sure if they need any help, whether it be with their room, any roommate conflicts that they have, we're able to assist them.
As the first week of the fall semester approaches, training starts among the residency hall staff.
The 2-week training, very intense, a lot of reading, a lot of procedures that we have to follow, a lot of questions that residents have. We do get that training so that we are competent of our job.
With RA trainings underway, the motivation of school spirit will be highly encouraged toward new and returning student residents.
I think it's very important that we keep that school spirit. Although we do have a lot of returners, I think that for the most part our population here will be first-year students. So it'll be great to see how they react to the university since they're the ones that are first being exposed to it.
Incoming freshmen will move on campus Friday, August 28th, and returning students will move in Saturday, August 29th. This is Beverly James for UTRGV-TV.
A new school year means new parking prices for students at UTRGV. But at what cost? Our reporter Karina Segovia crunched the numbers.
Finding a place to park on campus is anything but easy.
So I've been driving with a parking permit for 3 years now.
Mark Lopez is one of hundreds of UTRGV students that are frustrated with this daily problem.
There's no parking spots increase, just a parking price increase.
And it just got worse. Director of Parking and Transportation Rodney Gomez is in charge of zoning and transportation routes for the UTRGV campus.
The rates for students in Zone 1, it's $60. Same in Zone 2, will be $60. And then for faculty and staff, it's Zone 3, $130.
Gomez explains why there was an increase for Edinburgh students.
I know that there's a consistent fee structure across the different campuses.
If anyone fails to comply with these regulations, a citation will be issued out and the driver must pay a fee. If the driver doesn't pay and continues to receive multiple citations, a wheel immobilizer will be placed on the vehicle. Not only will the driver be responsible for paying multiple citations, but also for the removal fee from the wheel. Parking enforcement attendants will be on the lookout. Reporting for UTRGV-TV, I am Karina Segovia.
As we start the semester, new identification is needed for student services around campus. UTRGV is encouraging students to stop by the Academic Services Building and get their new ID as soon as possible.
We'll be issuing them out throughout the semester. I think there's going to be like a grace period where if people are still using their Bronc card, they can still use it, like if they haven't been able to come in and get a new one. So maybe like through October, and then like once by October, like you have to get your RGV card.
The new ID card can be used at all UTRGV locations.
Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of UTRGV-TV News. Now, if you have a story idea, go ahead and let us know. You can do so by visiting our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/UTRGV-TV.
We want to remind you, you can always email us at utrgv-tv@gmail.com.
I am Orlando Vargas.
And I'm Oscar Castillo. Have a great first week of school.